Said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
Well, how you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where we talk about life, we talk about liberty, and we talk about the pursuit of happiness, and we show the world that us Cajuns do have intelligence. Hope you're having a good day, good week, wherever you are located, because remember, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. That should be edifying to everyone that is listening to this. If you're a Holy Ghost-filled, born-again believer of Jesus Christ, if you're watching on Spotify or you're watching on YouTube, you notice I'm on a different angle. That's because Brother Hezekiah is in the house. He is helping produce the show tonight. You see his hand on the right, on the left-hand side of me. He's helping us out here tonight at BJS Media. Hope doing well. He hasn't been here for a while, so I'm gonna have to give him some grief through this episode. You gotta have some. You're gonna give me more grief, but that's okay. Hey, you know what? Some though, I will say this. And I used to listen to Rush Limbaugh, and Rush used to talk to his producer like this, and nobody could hear Mr. Sterling. Everybody knew who he was, but they couldn't hear him. So I guess, you know, everybody's going to know producer Hezekiah. You have to make a hashtag, or you have to make a, you know, something of that nature where people know you and get to see you. I'm just saying. Anyway. Yeah, they only know what you're the thing from the Addams family. Yeah, you're that. So anyway, Hezekiah, welcome back. Been a long time, my brother. So, all right, guys. So let's go ahead and dive into our topics tonight. So we're going to go back to the State of the Union a little bit. And why are we going back to the State of the Union? Because Biden has been on this tour. So it's tradition. And we're going to talk about a few traditions going in, because we know that Monday was the Super Bowl. And I'm recording before the Super Bowl, so I don't have my input of who won, who lost. We might tackle that on Thursday's episode when we release it, but we're going back because tradition, going to the Super Bowl, or even after, well, let's say it like this, not going to the Super Bowl, but the tradition of the president after the State of the Union is to go and do a tour. This is to go ahead and talk about things he said at the State of the Union. Now, on our last episode, we broke down a lot of the lies that President Biden said at the State of the Union. We talked about the economy, we talked about energy, we talked about the border, and we just went ahead and we dove into a lot of stuff that the president said that was not correct. Well, I'm going to play a clip from the State of the Union, because as he's going on this tour and he's continuing to lie, there's one major lie that he is continuing to push. And I want to go ahead and show you what he said at the State of the Union. If you are listening on the audio side, you're going to hear the audio. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the lie that he pushed at the State of the Union. This is one time where the Republican Party booed him. So Hezekiah, go ahead and play clip 1, please.
Agree to their economic plans. All of you at home should know what those plans are. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's the majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy. I'll give you a copy of the proposal.
All right, so he said that he wanted to that some in the Republican Party want to sunset Medicaid and Social Security. Now, how did he get this? Because he also said, if you do not believe me, because he was about to say not all of y'all, but some of y'all, where he said, contact my office. I have the paperwork and everything. And he has done this on the road where he has a pamphlet. This is coming from Rick Scott of Florida. And now this isn't recently. This is a couple of years ago that he's quoting this, where Rick Scott put up a proposal, and it wasn't outright cutting Social Security and Medicaid. It was restricting it to where certain people could have it and stuff like that. There's a lot of legalistic things about it that you can go ahead and look into. But so this is what So this is why I'm bringing this up. Ladies and gentlemen, in that State of the Union, the Republicans were saying no. And if you watch the video, Biden looked like he was puzzled. Because Biden, one reason was puzzled because for years, and this is going back to when Rush was on the air. I remember Rush talking about this. Rush would say how the Democrat Party, that was one of their play cards that they used before they get to an election. It was the race card, and it was, hey, the Republican Party wants to push over grandma off a cliff. If you remember, I think it was when Mitt Romney was running. They had a little cartoon where Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan was pushing off grandma off the physical cliff, and her Medicaid was cut out, or her Social Security was cut out. This is a play that the Democrat Party uses a lot, ladies and gentlemen. They go ahead and they use this to gain votes because they're trying to scare people. Because, see, the government gives Social Security and Medicaid. A lot of this is been rewarded to the person that works for it. If you have a W-2, this is tax season right now. If you go to the tax auditor or the person that files your taxes, they go ahead and you look on your W-2, there is a section where it pulls out Social Security and Medicaid. That's for you when you get older and you retire, you can have that. But Biden is pushing an age-old lie. Biden is pushing that the Republican Party wants to go ahead and take away Medicaid. They want to take away Social Security. And ladies and gentlemen, not one Republican, including Rick Scott, wants to take that away from you. Not one, not whatsoever. Now, bringing this back up, why am I bringing this up? Because the president on Wednesday and Thursday made two stops on this tour that he's doing to promote the State of the Union and to really refabricate his lies or tell his people. Now, remember, on the road, these are supposed to be supporters. So they're not going to boo him like they did at the State of the Union. See, he didn't like this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm seeing this right now on a side note. I'm seeing leftists say, oh my goodness, this was disrespectful to the president of the United States. Marjorie Taylor Greene calling him a liar. Marjorie Taylor Greene and the other Republicans booing him and making their voices heard. Ladies and gentlemen, they say this is disrespectful, but what they did to Donald Trump? It was Hakeem Jeffries, and I caught this on TikTok. I saved the video, but Hakeem Jeffries went ahead and said that the State of the Union was chaotic. This whole State of the Union, it was full of disrespect. How he didn't understand how the Republican Party could disrespect the president like that. But only 2 short years ago, well, now 3 short years ago, Donald Trump's up there and the Democrat Party is booing him. Remember when they all wore white and Donald Trump was in the middle of his speech? What about Nancy Pelosi tearing up his speech in front of a live audience on national television? That really made the Democrat Party look like they were respecting the president of the United States. See what the Democrat Party does, ladies and gentlemen? They say, hey, respect the president of the United States unless it's not one of their candidates or it's not one of their presidents. You don't have to respect them. But like we said, so Biden's on this trip. He don't get booed right now. He can say willy-nilly what he wants. And he goes ahead and he says, during the speech, this happened on Wednesday, Biden went ahead, going on his speech, said during the speech, target leading Republicans like Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, Rick Scott of Florida, and Mike Lee of Utah. The president read a brochure from Scott's campaign which called for his federal spending legislation to sunset in 5 years, subject to vote in Congress that could preserve programs. This is clearly and obvious an idea aimed at dealing with all the crazy new laws our Congress has been passing of late, Scott later said. Joe Biden is confused to suggest that this means I want to cut Social Security and Medicaid is a lie, and it is a dishonest move from a very confused president. Ladies and gentlemen, at other points in Biden's Wednesday speech, the president accused Senator Ron Johnson and Mike Lee of wanting to phase out Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicaid and medical card. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is showing Biden's incompetency. This is showing how Biden is running with an age-old lie that they used back in the 80s against Ronald Reagan and every other Republican since, that Republicans want to cut spending and Medicaid, Social Security and Medicaid, and that's the farthest thing from the truth. He mentioned 3 Republican senators that are some of the most conservative ones out there, and he's trying to push that the Republican Party wants to cut Medicaid. They want to cut Social Security. He also did it in Florida. A really rich, battleground state comes out and says that they want to cut spending and Medicaid. Now, this is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. Republicans aren't trying to kill Social Security and Medicaid, and Biden knows that. That's from an article of the Daily Wire, and it's an opinion piece by Joseph Carl. Ladies and gentlemen, they're not. The president knows that they're not doing this. The president knows that the Republican Party is not trying to cut Medicaid. They're not trying to cut Social Security. So why is the president doing this? Well, I've been mentioning it throughout the whole segment. Because Biden, this is a way to get to the Republican Party. It's kind of funny if you look at it. You can have the Democrats doing as bad as could be. Their economy could be down like it is now. They can go ahead. They can be inflation going through the roof like now. You have the Democrat Party's playbook. It's bad right now. The economy's bad. The nation's bad under a president like this. And where do they go to? The race card, the Social Security bit. They go through all this stuff. Why? Because this makes people, no matter how bad the government is run or how bad a candidate is doing, if you go to Social Security and Medicaid, people, the government's not going to give us our money, and they're more reliant on the government, so it tends for them to vote Democrat. Now, like I said, I believe I said this in the last show, that I'm happy that the Republican Party stood up. I'm happy the Republican Party went ahead and booed him. This was not the only time they booed him. They booed him on a multiple occasions, even though his own Democrat Party booed him. And I don't have the clip. I should have got that clip when they were laughing at him. Only needing fossil fuels for 10 years. Come on, man, as Biden would say. This is ridiculous, and this confirms that Mr. Biden is probably running in 2024. He hasn't announced it yet, and I wouldn't announce it until later on in the year. That's my personal opinion. But for him to start throwing jabs at the Republican Party, and him starting to trying to get into this phase of, we need to go ahead. The Republican Party is cutting Medicaid. They're cutting Social Security. This proves right here that the State of the Union was just a campaign speech. Because I said in the last episode, the State of the Union, they didn't have nothing talking about how the State of the Union was. Yeah, he did mention some accomplishments and some legislative accomplishments he did. But that was more of a campaign speech. It was more of a campaign speech to pass his agenda or to get his agenda across. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it's just disgusting. But you know what's sad? And this is going to be my last point before we go on to the next segment. Americans are going to believe this. Uninformed voters. If you remember, that was one of Russia's famous quote. An uninformed voter is going to hear Biden on TV because CBS is going to push this. NBC is going to push this. CNN is going to push this. All these major news networks are going to push this. And all they're going to hear is Biden on television saying the Republican Party wants to cut Social Security and the government wants, the Republicans want to cut Medicaid. And people with elderly relatives are going to say, oh, my goodness, Uncle Joe and Aunt Sue ain't going to go ahead and have their benefits no more. Oh, we can't vote for a Democrat. We can't vote for a Republican. We're going to have to vote for a Democrat. And they're not going to look at none of this stuff. They're not going to go look and see how Biden is lying like an informed voter would. But that's why we need to push shows like this on the air. This is why I always ask y'all for shares and likes and subscriptions to this show, because this gets the truth out there. This gets the truth out there that Biden is not looking for the betterment of the country. He is looking to stay in office. And he will do it by hook or crook and lies. And we're already seeing it, that he's trying to push lies going forward. in this year so far. With that being said, we'll be right back after this short break. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
Cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment. You rusty, bro. You rusty. He knows he is. That's all right. It's all right. We will forgive you. I did call you on a whim too, though. You know. Yeah, you got time to do it. Yeah, so just come here early practice. Yeah, just play with the buttons. So, see, that's what's good about being a producer, though. You get to play with buttons. All right, so let's continue on with the story, ladies and gentlemen. As you can tell, we're having pretty fun. We're having a lot of fun here on the Cajun Conservative Show. So let's move on to another topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Grammys were last Sunday, and you might be wondering, well, Isaac, you talked all about this last time, but no, a new twist came into this. So at the Grammy Awards, we had people dancing around doing sexual provocative dancing, and then you had Sam Smith dressed like a devil and doing satanic rituals and everything. And look, I've got heat on this. I did a Facebook reel / TikTok video, and it's getting some good response. It has been seen almost 700 times already, and that's an accomplishment for me, you know. But now that's not just one platform. That's all the platforms together, because I did a shorter version on YouTube Shorts. And I had someone reach out to me today, be like the other day, and they said, "Man, Isaac, if you don't like the Grammys, just don't watch them. And you Christians, y'all been pushing your agenda for years." And in the video, I talked about that. And he proved the person that told me this. It proved my point. You get what I'm saying? But the world didn't see nothing wrong with that. I saw a lot wrong with it. If you want to know my opinion of that, go listen to the last episode of the podcast. But this is where it's starting to get into a twist now. So as we know, the Super Bowl, at the time of this recording, I did not watch it yet because we record before the Super Bowl. But at the time this drops, it'll be after the Super Bowl. So after Sunday, there was an ad playing to where it was sponsored by Hobby Lobby to go ahead and put this ad up here. It's an organization that they're part of, and in the ad, in the pair of ads, now they paid let me see, $20 million advertising campaign. This is the foundation. It's He Gets Us campaign. It's so it's talking about like people that's suffering and in trouble, and they're basically saying Jesus gets us. He got us, and he helps us out and all that stuff. And in the film, it says Jesus. It promotes Jesus. It talks about how Jesus, he got us, and it shouldn't surprise me, but to no surprise that the left went crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, the left went crazy. They start saying, "Oh, how dare Hobby Lobby or whoever put this ad together?" Because I think Hobby Lobby is part of the group that did it or whatever. Somewhere or another, Hobby Lobby is involved. But how dare this organization put an ad in the Super Bowl and talking about Jesus? Oh, and there's some tweets out there. One person saying, "I'm glad I'm an atheist." You have religious rights groups. Oh my goodness, I can't believe they're promoting Jesus at the Super Bowl. These are the same people. These are the same people that said that you should go watch Sam Smith dance around in horns and in a red devil suit and have sexual acts performed on him in the Grammy Awards. These are the same people that will endorse sexual perversion and Satanism. But by golly, don't go ahead and talk about Christ. Don't go ahead and talk about Jesus. We need to get a camera on you next time. Boy, I think you're about to blow up too, though, because it's hypocrisy. And look, I talked about this in the last segment. I just didn't know I would get an example the next week after. My goodness, Jesus, spreading love, joy, hope, and peace and forgiveness of your sins, and that he can help you go through trials and tribulations. God forbid they put that on the Super Bowl ad. But they go ahead and they put at the Grammys a biological man saying that he's non-binary, and a woman, well, a man that says he's a woman. So, man, we broke through barriers to get to this point. We went ahead and the song just showing y'all how great this world is, and they accept us. What's the name of the song? Unholy. My God, where have we come as a nation? People have problems with Jesus Christ, but will endorse a Satan-centered performance at the Grammys. I cannot believe. Hey, you know what's sad, Hezekiah? You know, you're just sitting right here, and I know you're young. I would have never thought this would have happened 20 years ago when I was your age. I would have never. I say your age. I would have been 10, 20 years ago. But I'm just saying, I would have never thought of that. Jesus. No. This goes to a point, though, too, though. Isaiah said it the best way, and I quote this scripture often. I got to find the verse in the chapter and verse, but Isaiah basically said it. They're going to call good evil and evil good. And we're living in that state right now, ladies and gentlemen. It is sad. A commercial about Jesus. And this organization just helping people. Helping people to find refuge and strength. Now, on the Christian side, I'm glad the Christian organization did this. Because I don't think we fight enough. And look, on that point, a lot of people have reached out to me on TikTok and Facebook and YouTube and told me to keep fighting the faith, keep fighting for the faith, keep doing what I'm doing here, because there's not a lot of people doing this. There's a lot of people that don't have a backbone to do what we're doing here tonight. I can't. Jesus Christ is bad and Satan is good. That's, you get what I'm saying? Man, it's hard to get to the neck. Well, Satan wants destruction. And Hezekiah did ask a good point right there. Brought out a good point. Don't they know what Satan wants? Satan wants you to burn in hell with him for all eternity. Yeah, but he's the God of this world. He's the God of this world. So, but anyway, all right. So let's move on. We're gonna have to move on. Talking about Biden again. So as I said in the first segment, he is on this traditional State of the Union tour where he goes ahead and he's talking about the State of the Union and what he wants to accomplish, and he's just reaffirming what the State of the Union. Well, as it was Super Bowl week, Joe Biden, well, tradition is that the Super Bowl would be the president would grant the hosting channel, which is Fox, a interview for the Super Bowl, which is like a pre-game interview, whatever. It was air before the Super Bowl. You didn't see it Sunday because the president didn't go. That's right. Early in the week, last week, it was announced that President Joe Biden would not be getting interviewed by Fox News. Now, he tried to go through a loophole with this he was going to go on a station called Fox Soul. It is a small streaming platform, and it's aimed towards the African American community. So he was trying to get on that, but the thing of it is, Fox Soul has no affiliation with Fox News or the Fox organization that is airing the Super Bowl. See, Fox News does, Fox Sports, that's all in one big connection. But the president of the United States said, no, I'm not going on Fox News. Now, this has happened before. To be fair to the president right now, President Donald Trump, I think it was in 2019, did not go to NBC and do an interview with them. They were the hosting site of the Super Bowl, hosting channel, whatever you want to call it. And President Trump said he wasn't going. Why? Because NBC and CBS and all these other networks that host the Super Bowl were more leaning to the left, and they were going to ask him ridiculous questions. Now, did Trump do right by doing that? You can have a debate on that. I wouldn't, but, you know, that is up to the president. So you can justify why the president didn't want to go. Well, Isaac, why do you think President Biden didn't want to go? Because he didn't know I want to get asked any questions. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason he wanted to go around this loophole and say I went on Fox Soul, because 9 out of 10, that streaming service would have gave him softball questions, and they wouldn't have asked him anything hard. Well, Isaac, you have no proof of that. You don't know. Really? Well, let me go ahead and tell you my proof. Because President Joe Biden didn't go on Fox News, but he did go on PBS. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I believe it was Wednesday. Biden goes ahead and had an interview with PBS where they asked him some questions about the documents, the classified document scandal that's been going on with the last three presidential administrations. Biden tells PBS he's not at liberty to discuss classified documents, but suggests his staff is to blame. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember I think it was last week, I was talking about Biden don't take blame for anything. Well, it wasn't me, it was my staff. Now, at the time of this recording, just to be fair, they found some more documents with Trump that was digitally put into a laptop. We saw this early, and then they found one classified document at Vice President Pence's home. And they have said that they took them. But President Biden is blaming everybody else. Now, this is where I'm going to come to the point. When that question was asked, the host of PBS said, we can move on to another question. This person that was supposed to be interviewing the president on PBS is supposed to press and supposed to ask the tough questions. No. President Joe Biden went on PBS. Why? He chose to go to PBS because PBS is a left-leaning organization that likes Joe Biden and does not want to put Joe Biden in harm's way of anything. He's running for president in 2024, ladies and gentlemen, which a new ABC poll came out, and I think ABC Washington Post poll say only 40% of people want President Biden to run for re-election. And this is why I'm bringing this out. The reason, if you're wondering, I wonder why he didn't go on Fox. Because the president does not want to be asked hard questions. And to be honest with you, I think Karine Jean-Pierre is tired of tough questions. Because it also broke out this week that President Biden, I have the article, I want to make sure, I wasn't planning on this, so this is off the rails right now, but I remember seeing this in my notes earlier. The president, for some reason, took out a $250,000 line of credit against his Delaware Beach home aimed at scandal. Now, the White House sidestepped this question regarding this line of credit when asked Karine Jean-Pierre about it. They were on Air Force One. The press, an unidentified reporter questioned White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre about Biden's financial move, which he and his wife, First Lady Jill Biden, made in early December. President Biden took out a $250,000 line of credit on his house in Rebota late last year. Can you say what it was for? The reporter asked. Karine Jean-Pierre, yeah, I saw that report. I would just have to reference you to the White House counsel office. She's been doing that a lot lately. Hey, what about the scandals? Karine Jean-Pierre? Oh, you got to talk to the White House counsel. What about this line of credit? You got to talk to the... Now, we don't know a lot about this line of credit. But Karine Jean-Pierre is doing the same thing Biden's doing. Ladies and gentlemen, she went on The View the other day. And when kind of pressed by somewhat of a conservative on The View, she went ahead and go all around the question. And, of course, the lovely lady of The View, I remember the one that's supposed to be conservative on there. Okay, Miss Karine Jean-Pierre. Okay, you're fine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what gets me upset all about this. Okay, look, Trump did it. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt. And President Biden could do. This is the problem with President Biden, if you compare President Biden and President Trump together. Trump went on CNN. Trump did go to MSNBC. Trump tried to go on these and look, let's go talk about transparency. Biden hardly goes on he has not been on Fox News to my knowledge. He has been he has been on CNN one time that I can remember. He's been on 60 Minutes, and then he got into a lot of trouble with that. So what is the problem with Joe Biden? Well, Joe Biden just don't want to be asked any hard questions. And I think Fox News was hoping for this, but they pulled it already. They said, look, we're not even going to ask no more. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the reason he's not going on Fox News is because he don't want to be asked hard questions. Now, this goes to another point, too. President Joe Biden, well, let me not say President Joe Biden. Majority of the Democrats on the left. Don't you remember when Donald Trump didn't want to go ahead and go on these networks? Oh, the president should be transparent. He should be able to have reporters ask him questions anytime he wants because they need to find out the facts. Why don't they say the same thing about Biden? President Trump, every time he got out of the White House, they had reporters, they would ask him stupid questions. And he would take some time to answer it. Biden does it every so often, but normally Biden just goes, hey, and walks off. Biden hasn't been on Fox News. Look, even this point, President Obama went on Fox News. Ladies and gentlemen, that's bad when President Obama goes on Fox News and Joe Biden doesn't. Because I think they know that Fox is the only one that's going to give them hard questions. And it's sad that a president will not go ahead and sit on the other side of criticism, but rather go to comfortable softball questions, news coverage. And it's sad. It's sad. No transparency, none whatsoever. With that being said, we'll be right back after this short break.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a podcast on Spotify. I would love it if you went over and subscribed to my podcast. It's a talk show. It covers a wide variety of topics. I cover success, motivation, funny stories, topical events, things going on in the world. And I would love it if you went over and subscribed to my podcast. Thank you so much, Isaac. God bless. Enjoy your life.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show, which I call this segment Cajun News, because there's some stories that usually I like what to do with the third segment is just get about 5 stories and try to break them down as quickly as possible. If I hit them all, great. If not, we can always come back to it. But I do want to start off with some breaking news right here. This came out right while we was in the middle of doing our other podcast. The U.S. F-22 Raptor shoot down unidentified flying object over Canada. This is from the Daily Wire. The U.S. Air Force shoots down an unidentified object flying over Canada Saturday evening, according to U.S. officials. The U.S. fighter jet was acting with the authority from leftist Canada Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The takedown of the unidentified object that violated Canada's airspace, Trudeau tweeted, and it shot down the object over Yonkin Canada and the U.S. Air Force were scrambling, and the U.S. F-22 successfully fired the object. Now, this is the second object that has been shot down because it was said, let me go ahead and get the date. Friday, there was a high altitude object near Alaska, and making the second time in less than a week that a fighter jet was sent to down a aerial vehicle that had entered U.S. airspace. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they said it was a second. Now there's a third. Our fighter jets have been real busy around our coast and in our airspaces. Now, of course, these two objects, they don't know what they are. The one in Alaska was shot down, and now the one in Canada, Justin Trudeau, hey, how they say that? A broken clock is right twice a day. I'm glad that nut let us go ahead and shoot this thing down. As liberal as he is, I'm surprised. You know, he don't like guns, so I don't know why he would like missiles. But anyway, he so they shoot down some in Canada now. Apparently it was coming to the United States, and then they shoot down Alaska, shoot something down in Alaska, and we shot down a weather balloon from China. Ladies and gentlemen, are we safe? Are we safe? Because now also China, we have to remember, China said they want to use their right. They can use their right to invade or to retaliate, I guess you could say, because of us shooting down the weather balloon. Now, there's a lot of things that can go into that, but President Biden took his praise for shooting down. See, I told y'all, I told you so. I will shoot him down. I will protect America. Because you remember the State of the Union said if people go ahead and try to invade our sovereignty or invade our areas, he was going to do it. And look, at least he shot him down. You get what I'm saying? But ladies and gentlemen, this does raise a question. Do our enemies take us seriously? I'm serious. You know, I remember Trump. Everybody was saying about World War III. If Trump gets reelected, he's going to lead us into World War III. If you remember, though, when Trump was president, Russia did not even think about invading Ukraine. China was not investing going towards Taiwan. Leaders were scared that Trump would pull funding. The world respected America under Trump. But you remember when Biden ran, I want to save the soul of America. And now we have people invading our airspaces and invading our border. Mayorkas has been, I think, went on Capitol Hill, and he has been asked a number of times, hey, what about the border? You know, you're letting millions upon millions. My dad mentioned earlier about Clay Higgins, our U.S. district in Louisiana, the 3rd district congressional leader or congressman. And he was asking you let people in. Do you know who these millions of people are? And Mayorkas, all he can do, I think it's Mayorkas, would say, we have policies. Ladies and gentlemen, are we safe? That's a question that the American people should ask. Are we safe under this Democratic government? Under the Democratic, I'm talking about not the Democrat Party. Are we safe under this Democrat president? President Joe Biden is on the verge, and everybody, remember, everybody on the left, Trump was going to start World War III. It looked like they spoke too soon. They should have thought about Biden. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where we as a nation need to start taking accountability of saying, look, I know all you people. I know all the people that went ahead and voted for Trump. Y'all didn't like Trump because of the mean tweets and the bad words. What about now? I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying. I'm speaking reality. Are we safer under this president than we were with Trump? I say not, unfortunately. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Disney. Disney to lay off 7,000 employees as CEO Bob Iger slashed spending aim profitable crisis. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Disney, the happiest place on earth, is cutting 7,000 jobs worldwide, or more than 3% of its workforce. Why is that happening? Because I heard Disney has lost millions of subscribers to Disney Plus. Disney for the past couple of years have been pushing a more woke agenda, and people don't like it. But also another reason that it's losing profits is because, one, I know this ain't the main reason, but Disney World is now going to be taxed. Why do I say that? Because Florida Ron DeSantis passes a bill. Well, the Florida House, correction, which Ron DeSantis is going to pass. Florida House overwhelmingly passed a bill to let DeSantis take control of Disney's Orlando district. The bill passed 82-31 in the supermajority state house, and it's suspected at the time of this recording, that was when it passed on the 9th, is going to pass probably the supermajority Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking about Disney now for, oh man, as a guy, I don't know if you've been listening to the podcast, but I've been mentioning Disney a while. It's been a long time, but Disney, and look, let me just say what it is. Disney has gone woke. And because it has gone woke, their monopoly is starting to fall, because the people that fund Disney are not all majority LGBTQ community people. There's a lot of Christians I know that say they ain't watching Disney. And look, don't get me wrong, Disney comes out with some good content. I'm gonna give a prop to Disney. National Treasure: Edge of History. Just finished watching the series. I love the movies with Nicolas Cage. Man, that was a really good series. Besides some language, not all, but they didn't, do like Yellowstone, where's the F word every 3 syllables. But it was good. It was well made. And look, there was, well, I can't say that either. There was some political influences still in the movie. But if you're looking for it, you find it. But if you're not looking for it, it probably overpass your head. That's, but like Strange World and Lightyear, when they go into it saying, we're going to push a certain agenda, and majority of your audience don't like it. I'm going to use an example of myself. We're in the dump truck business. And somebody goes ahead and calls me and says, and majority of our customers buy dirt. That's our money maker, dirt. But what if everybody calls me and starts saying, Isaac, we want dirt. And I say, no, you don't want dirt. You want gravel. No, I want dirt. No, you want gravel. And you know what? I'm going to send you a load of gravel. You know how many people are going to call me? And what they're going to tell people? Hey, he don't call him. All he does is deliver gravel. He don't deliver dirt. My business, or the business correct, I say my business, my dad's business, the business that I'm in would decline drastically, and I would have to get out of that business. And that's what Disney's doing. Disney's telling people, hey, y'all want wokenism. And we're like, no, we don't. Yes, y'all do. Y'all want to be woke. No, we don't. Oh, come on. Hey, we're gonna make 5 movies and we're gonna give them to y'all, and y'all gotta pay to watch them. No, we don't. You know what's gonna happen to your profits? Nosedive. And that's why they got back the old CEO, Bob Auger, I think his name is. That's why they got him back. Because they're hoping he can revise the company. How much time we have left, Hezekiah? How much time? Because I'm 10. Okay, so man, I'm tall between these two topics. I want to go ahead and die. I think let me go ahead. I'm gonna talk about John Fetterman. So how many of y'all, if you remember back in a while back, we talked about the Senate race that happened last year. And John Fetterman, and look, like I said, it's funny how Pennsylvania does that. A Democrat wins on a landslide, they know it the same night. Republican starts winning, they got to wait 5 days to count the votes. But I'm not going to say no more about that. But John Fetterman won Pennsylvania's Senate seat. He ran against Mehmet Oz, and look, won in a pretty good margin. Yeah, he won at a pretty good margin, and it stank that he won, but hey, he won. But during that whole time, I was against Fetterman, just not because of his policies. Unfortunately, John Fetterman got a stroke in the middle of his campaign, and he was slurring words. He was off the campaign, I think, for almost 2 months. When he finally came back, he had to read a prompter when he was interviewed because he couldn't comprehend a lot what the reporter was saying. That I was a reporter from NBC. So why am I bringing this up? Well, unfortunately, 2 days ago, at the time of this recording, John Fetterman was hospitalized after feeling lightheaded at a Senate Democrat retreat. John Fetterman was hospitalized overnight following a lightheadedness he experienced at a Senate retreat on Wednesday. Towards the end of the Senate Democratic retreat today, John Fetterman began feeling lightheaded. A statement from his office read. So he was put into the hospital. He wasn't feeling well. It was also released this week that John Fetterman said that he really can't comprehend what's going on the Senate floor because when he hears people talk, it sounds like a Charlie Brown movie. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Charlie Brown or people, when the teacher was talking about womp, 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 and the last Peanut movie, it was in a classroom, and they were talking about doing a test, and it was womp, 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 oh, not another test. The kids could understand, but the audience couldn't understand, and that's what it was compared to. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this man's in there for 6 years. Look, I pray for him, Lord, heal him, but I don't know if this man's gonna last 6 years. Now we got to go to a point which I'm going to go ahead and say it. The Democrat Party's sad. Because come on, look at this. And guys, this is going to be the last subject because I think I need to hit this home and I need to take some time with this. John Fetterman caught a stroke on the road. Could not comprehend before he got into the Senate. But the Democrat Party wanted that seat so bad that they allowed him. And don't get me wrong, because you got to look at the voters in Pennsylvania as well. They voted their person in that they wanted. I understand that. And look, you can have arguments. Dr. Oz was not a good candidate and all that, but you had a man that was sick, and the party that he's supposed to represent didn't try to find somebody real quick, or didn't say, look, unfortunately we're going to lose this seat, but man, we're going to make it through. No, they were so worried about getting that Senate majority that they let a man sick win this seat. And now he's being hospitalized, and he's saying he can't comprehend. Now, I don't know what's the plan of the Democrat Party, maybe because there is a Democrat governor in Pennsylvania. So they might be saying, well, look, just stay for a while. You can step down, and then the governor is going to replace somebody else with you. I don't know the plan of the Democrat Party. But I look at, and I would be saying this about the Republican candidate if that would happen. If something would have happened to a Republican candidate to where he was sick and he shouldn't have ran, or he had to step down, he should step out. Because look, I don't care if you're right, left, center, middle, libertarian, whoever. If you allow a person that is sick and don't know how well he's going to perform in the Senate win this seat, and not tell him to step out, I understand you might lose a seat. I understand all that. I understand the politics around it. But this is brutal. It's the same thing. It's the same thing I feel about Biden. Biden at the State of the Union. If y'all Republicans pass a bill on a fundamental, I'm going to veto it. We still don't know what a fundamental is. What was he saying? We don't know. Biden started off with a goof right from the jump. Looked at Chuck Schumer. You're the minority. Oh, no, you're the majority leader. And look, I understand these people are holding office. I understand you can find replacements, but man, you got to be in a real sad state to let people like John Fetterman and Joe Biden run this country, and you have difficulty. And look, I hope y'all don't think I'm insensitive. I'm looking as an American stat. Senator John Fetterman, I don't know what committee he's on, but do you honestly think he could serve the country in the state he's in right now. And this man didn't even have time to recover. But this shows, and look, I understand people say, well, the right does it too. I understand that. But this shows the inhumane side of politics. For us to have power, and this is on the Republican side and it's on the Democrat side, for us to have power, we're going to let people that are not capable of running this country run this country. And people wonder why our state and our country is in a bad state right now. It's sad. So it'll be the purple. So with that note, with that being said, we're going to go ahead, and this is going to be the end of this episode. Please consider on subscribing. Please consider on liking the page. Go check us out on Facebook. Go check us out on TikTok. Go check us out on Twitter. And help this page grow. Like I said earlier, a lot of people don't understand what a subscription can do, what a like can do, what a share can do. Let's beat the algorithm. Go ahead and share this podcast and tell all your friends about it. And just remember that Jesus Christ is King, and he's coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart, because Jesus has overcome the world. Until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good one.
He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open